Hey everybody, it's Adam with TheAestheticBuild.com. I just wanted to do a really short video kind of dispelling a myth that floats around every now and then in the bodybuilding, fitness, physique world, and that's the idea that you can only absorb 30 grams of protein at one sitting, and anything over and above that is just wasted or turned to body fat or something like that. And that's absolutely not the case. So two quick things. I feel like we need to understand how protein works in your body, and then we need to make a point about any food being inherently fattening. So what you need to remember is that your body is really smart, and it's not going to let too much go to waste. So essentially when you eat protein, your digestive kind of enzymes are going to break that protein down into amino acids. Those amino acids are then carried by these little transporter cells that line your small intestine. It's carried to different parts of your body where those amino acids are needed for tissue growth and repair and things like that. So essentially what you're looking at here, people will make the argument that you only have, and this is true, that you only have so many of those little transport cells. So even in the best case scenario with the best absorbing protein, which would be a whey, hydrolysate, isolate, concentrate, something like that, that they're only going to absorb at something like 10 grams an hour. So if you think about, typically we think of the human digestive process taking 2 or 3 hours, you're looking at most being able to absorb 30 grams of protein every 3 hours. So that's where you kind of get that idea that you need to eat 30 or so grams every couple of hours. What people fail to remember or fail to mention is the fact that protein actually delays gastric emptying. So when you consume protein, it slows down it releases a hormone that slows down the digestive process of that protein specifically. So your protein actually can take longer to digest than other food. So it buys your body more time to kind of take in those amino acids and get them where they need to go. So that 30 gram number and that absorption rate, while important, doesn't tell you the whole story. Protein actually has a longer time and more of an opportunity to be absorbed. Again, your body's super efficient and smart and knows what it's doing. So that's something to keep in mind. Also something to keep in mind is the fact that acute protein response, so what you get right then when you consume protein, it doesn't tell the whole story. Of course, when you consume protein, the first thing your body's going to do is going to send those amino acids for tissue growth and repair, so to grow muscle tissue that's been broken down via resistance training or what have you. Then if there's some protein left over, some amino acids left over, it can actually store those in muscle cells for up to 24 hours or so, which means you've got this bank of amino acids that if your body needs it and it goes into a situation where it's not able to get food on a regular basis, you've got some amino acids to go take care of preventing a significant amount of muscle breakdown and allow it to continue repairing the way that it would like to. And then something else to think about too is even after that, if there's something left over, if there are amino acids left over, it can actually go to fuel broken down for fuel to fuel brain function and other cellular processes. So your protein is not going to go to waste. It's more important the amount of protein you're consuming over the course of a day, what you have available for your body to use when it needs it, than how much protein you're eating at one time or exactly when you're eating that protein. And then something else I want to point out really quick, a lot of people will say, oh, if you overconsume protein, it's just going to go straight to fat, or something like that. A lot of people will use that same argument for carbohydrates and fat as well. Though if you eat too many carbs, you're going to get fat. That's true. If you eat too much protein or any macronutrient and it causes you to go over your caloric maintenance for the day, sure, you're going to gain weight. You're going to gain some body fat, dependent on the amount of surplus that it's putting you in, caloric surplus. But no food is inherently fattening. In the absence of a caloric surplus, it's not going to cause you to gain fat. If a food causes you to overconsume calories, so if carbs are really easy for you to eat and you eat a ton of carbs, and you go over your maintenance calorie intake, then yes, in a roundabout way, carbs can be fattening, but the same can be said for fat and protein. So the food is not inherently fattening. And protein has, going back to the topic of this video, protein is anabolic, and it can be anabolic over a period of time because your body can store have a bank of protein that it can use when it needs it, which I think is really cool. So to ease your fears, it's more about 24-hour protein balance, how much you have available for your body at any one time, and protein in itself is not fattening. So maybe this will save you some time shaking up protein every couple of hours. If that's what you prefer, then by all means do it. It's not going to hurt you to consume protein every couple of hours and break it up. But proponents of intermittent fasting, or people who like to eat 2 or 3 big meals a day as opposed to smaller meals, you can be confident in the fact that protein is going to good use and that's not being wasted. Anyway, so I hope this was really helpful. Shoot me an email at TheAestheticBuild@gmail.com if you have any questions, or you can find me. I coach on Photocracy, a couple of groups. You can find me at Adam Reed Coach on Photocracy, and that's Adam Reed is REID Coach. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.